Recording in progress.
Hello, family. Coach John here. I just wanted to try to get on today and sort of share a little bit about what I've learned, what I've found, what I love to talk about, health, about love, about success, about prosperity, about peace, about collaboration. I want to talk about unity and oneness. I want to talk about what's the same, not about what's different. I tell you that everybody has different ideas. This is the nature. Every snowflake is different. Every raindrop is different. This is the nature. It's the nature that all things are individual and different, always constantly changing, always unique. This is nature. This is the law of nature. Just talking about the laws of nature, just getting into alignment with nature, just reaching out to anyone today that wants to hear a little bit of a story. I'd like to share a little bit of a story, something that's been revealed to me, something that I've seen inside of myself and my life. I've come to observe about myself and about life from practice, diligent practice, and commitment and devotion. I'd like to tell you today a little bit of a story. I'd like to tell you a little bit of a creation story, my version of a creation story. I think we all have a story within us. I think we all have a similar kind of creation story. Not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same. Yours is a little bit different, but it has some common characteristics. It has some things in common with mine. And if you hear my story, it may help you with yours. This is it, that when one shines their light, that one's light can inspire or spark or light on others, that this is the way that it is. It's not about right or wrong. I tell you, everyone has differences of opinion. It depends on how old they are. It depends on what color they are, what culture they are, what religion they are. It depends on their sex. It depends on their geography. It depends on their social status. There are so many things that make an individual special and different. And everyone has a little different interpretation of things because of all of the things already referenced and many more that I probably have forgotten and overlooked in this moment. Each one of us has a story, and it's not wrong to have your own individual story. Like, this is wrong, that there's only one way that this goes. There's only one way. There's a right way and a wrong way. This is the wrong way. This is not the way that it is. It is not a right way and a wrong way. Love is both ways. That's not, there's nothing bad about that. That when my child does something bad, I still love them. It doesn't make me love them less. Like, love is constant, steadfast, unchanging. That's the nature of love. And so, even in the darkness, there's love, there's light, like the darkness comes from the light. So, we can all see what is common in us, in humanity. We have to talk about what's common in us rather than talking about what's wrong or what's different, or I don't like him because he says this or he says that, or I don't agree with this or I don't agree with that. It's not about agreeing with everything that I say. I'm not trying to get you to agree with me. I'm only sharing a story. That's all. Just sharing my story. That's all. I want to tell you a story. My story of creation, which was revealed to me. That in the beginning, there was one. There was one. I will say the word energy only because this is kind of something that we can conceptualize, but it is beyond energy. Now, let me just touch on that for a second, because you see, energy is measurable. And this energy is vibrating at a resonance or a frequency that is so high, it is immeasurable. It is beyond physical measure. Anything that's in the physical or in the known universe, nothing in the known universe can be assembled in any way that it can measure this energy, this light, this source, this thing. This is something that we have to understand. Like, we're talking about something that's immeasurable. It's unquantifiable. Like, you cannot put a measure on it. It's beyond measure. It's also beyond word. It's beyond thought. It's beyond word and thought. It's beyond concept. It's beyond anything that can fit inside of the the man's mind. Because you see, the man's mind is finite. It's fixed. It's inside of a space. It's in a time and a space. This is 50 years in a Jamaican man's body who had such and such experiences, has a wife, 3 children, works as a fitness, health, and wellness person, was a professional bodybuilder, was a teacher, is a father, is a husband, is a trainer, is a coach, is a health coach. So in this time and space, it, at this moment, this is, a story that's inside of my mind to explain something that's unexplainable. So I'm putting it in my words, my experience, just sharing some time with you. Nobody has much time nowadays. So I'm just collecting some ideas for you together, and putting them together for you in a short a way and as quickly as I can. I want to try and talk to you about creation. And creation, you know, it was tried to talk about it in a book that's like 10,000 pages. It's bigger than that. It can't even talk about all of it. So I can't explain everything to you. I'm just, again, just giving you a little snippet of an idea to kind of think or conceptualize something that's beyond thought concept. It's beyond that, but I'm trying to give you a little bit of a way to think about it, an alternative way to think about it. Because, we as humans, we are all physical, mental, emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, mind, body, soul, emotion, feelings. This is what we are. We are four: mind, body, soul, spirit. We are mind, body, spirit, emotion. We are a box. We're like a box. We're like four things. We're like abundance and peace and happiness and joy. our joy and health. This is what we are. We are health. We are um, infinite, boundless possibility. Now, these are the things that we are, right? These are things that we are. We are like our Father, the Creator. We are made in the image of creation. We're different than the animals because we have free will. We have choice. The animal is purely physical. If it needs to eat, it just kills and eats. This is what it does. It has to do it. It has no choice. You see, the human has a choice in that we can honor just our purely physicalness, or we can step into our possibility, our infiniteness, our metaphysicalness. Like there is a part of us that is physical, mental, and physical. There's a part of us that is mental and physical. And there is a part of us that is emotional and spiritual. There are two sides to us. And then that there's even another part of us that is neutral, that is all, that has free will. The all has free will to honor the physical and mental part of us, or to honor the emotional and spiritual part of us, the two sides of ourselves. So this is what I see, that we are made in the image of creation. And so just as we create in our mind's eye something, if we want to create a house, we have to first think about it. If we want to have a child, we have to first think about it. We want to have a child, or we want to create something. We have to do certain things in order to create it. We have to think about those things and do those things to make that happen. It comes as a thought in the mind, and then it comes into the physical. Just as we create as a thought in the mind, and then we do the actions to make it come into the physical. If we want to get healthy, if we want to get wealthy, if we want to have more love in our relationships, just as we think and speak that we want to have these things and do these things, we have to then take the action steps in order to make that happen. The same way that we create in our mind's eye first, so does creation create all things, us included, that we are an idea in the infinite mind. So, to begin the story, man, life, love. Man is life and love. Man is the power of love and the physicalness of life. Man is two, physical and emotional. And man is mental or neutral, the choice. Man is mental, the choice, the free will, the neutral, to be in the physical or to be in the metaphysical or in the creative side or the emotional side or the feminine side. Man is androgynous, is two. Man is both. Man has masculine and feminine within him, that each one has both. That the creative force, the creative energy is androgynous, is two, is both, is whole, is all. The creator, the creation, the energy that started the whole thing is an androgynous energy. It's not masculine or feminine. It is both. It is whole. It is two. It is all. Creation is all things. All things come from creation. I'll call this creation like an atom, like all things are made up of atoms. Creation is like, okay, so in the beginning there was Adam, okay, and Adam was an androgynous, whole, steady, unchanging, I'll say force, but it's not a force. Like energy, like force, he is love. He's pure unconditional love. And he is infinite mind. He is both. He is infinite mind and he is pure unconditional love. And he is this all the time. And he is so wonderful and great and so incredible. He loves himself. He loves himself and he needs nothing. He needs no thing. He has everything. Everything comes from him. He needs nothing. So I want you to understand there's this, in the beginning, there's this creative energy, there's this creative force, and it needs nothing. It is everything. It has no want for anything. It is complete, masculine and feminine within it. It is self-generating, self-healing, self-governing, self-satisfying, fulfilled. It's complete, it's whole. And yet, this this energy, you know, for whatever reason, and I'll say there's no answer to why. There is no answer to why, but this energy decides to copy itself and make another. For whatever reason, this whole androgynous, unconditionally loving, infinite mind creates another. It does it through a mirror. It does it through a mirror. Like as if looking into a mirror, you look into a mirror and you see, the opposite. It creates its divine opposite. Also whole, also complete. But I want to tell you something about this second perfection that's created by perfection, is it has something that's different about this energy in the mirror. Is just as that original energy was constant, steadfast, and unchanging, just as steady and stationary and loving for itself and whole and complete as it was, it created through a mirror copy of itself, and the copy is constant change. You see, atom, atom was unchanging, steadfast, unchanging. And his female consort, Destiny, Mother Nature, she is constantly changing. She never stays the same. And so you see, she creates all things. He stays as he is, always. She won't stop creating new things constantly. She is in love with himself. She is love and she is life. She is creation. He wants and needs nothing. She creates all things. Now, you know, maybe I'm just going to add a little share screen here to sort of bring something else up here. You know, I like to tell people, um, change your mind, change your life. You know, I like to tell people this because this is what happened to me, is that I learned how to change my mind. I learned that, you know, whatever you're thinking is creating what you have. I came to understand this, and I came to recognize that if I wanted to have something different, I was going to have to think differently. I was going to have to think outside of the box. I couldn't think the way that everyone was telling me to think. I couldn't do the things that everyone was telling me to do. I needed to do something for myself. In the beginning, I had to follow other people, sort of guides that sort of inspired me to move forward. People that I spoke to pulled me forward into this sort of raw food, fasting, light movement, meditation, chronic lifestyle, a lifestyle of devotion, a lifestyle of commitment, a lifestyle of love, a lifestyle of health, living in a healthy, natural way, coming away from the ideas that I learned from school because I was a scientist. I was a kinesiologist. I was a scientist. I was a I was a teacher. My mother was a teacher. I was in a competitive bodybuilder. I was in the Miss Universe competition. I taught anatomy. I taught nutrition. At physical education, I taught children grades 4 to grade 8. Um, I'm a teacher by nature. This is what I learned made me sick. I tell you, I was a competitive bodybuilder. I was in the Mr. Universe competition 27 years ago. I'm a trainer. I've been a trainer for 30 years. I have a private training studio in my home where people can come to my home. My wife and I are both trainers. People can come to my home for private training, or people can tune in online and work with us online. You know, I've been married for 20 years. I have 3 children. I have a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old, and an 11-year-old son, 2 daughters, and a son. When I was 40, I'm 50 now. When I was 40, I lost my health. I lost my health to the way that I was living. I lost my health to bodybuilding. I was ripping my body apart and eating copious amounts of protein. I got addicted to anabolic steroids and drugs. And got addicted to the lifestyle, like the pushing on the body and this incredible size that I had. It was me. I needed this size. This is who I was. I got addicted to the size. I got addicted to the training. I got addicted to the anabolics, growth hormone, and steroid. And I got addicted to the eating, the overeating, the protein diet, just eating and eating and eating because I could just train and make myself bigger. I just got addicted to being bigger. I had a self-image problem. I had a size image problem. I wasn't ever big enough. I wasn't good enough. So I was putting more of this stuff into me, more protein and carbs and vitamins and stuff into me, getting stuff, getting stuff. When I hit 40, my health fell apart. And if I didn't get it back, I was going to lose my family, the people that I loved the most. My relationships were suffering, and I recognized I needed to make a change in my life to hold my family together, to make my family prosper. I had to find the way. I mean, like I say, I was a scientist and I had 25 years of personal training, coaching experience, 20 years of health coaching experience. When the life dropped out, my bottom dropped out of my life, I said, I have to be able to fix myself. I just had this belief that the body knows the way back to health, that I'm not meant to suffer in my life. So I knew there was something wrong. My mother died at 42. Here I was at 40 and everything was falling apart. My health, my wealth, my relationships. I was gaining weight. I was 45 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was gaining weight. Like, it was easy to gain weight. I was struggling to maintain my weight. I noticed I was getting swollen. Like, I was inflamed. There was pain in my body, pain in my neck, pain in my back, pain in my hips, pain in my knees. I was taking ibuprofen every day for the digestive problems. I was drinking coffee 3 times a day, and I was using this pre-workout stimulants before I worked out. So I was putting a lot of stimulation into the body, the nervous system. This was messing with my digestive system. My digestion was off. I was having candida and yeast problems. I was having athlete's foot. I was filled with pain. I was having sleep problems. I was medicated for sleep. I was medicated for acid reflux because I was drinking so much coffee and stimulants. I was medicated for insomnia. I was medicated for digestive problems. I was self-medicating ibuprofen. I was addicted to growth hormone and steroid, and I was overtraining and overeating, and I had a bad image of myself. I started working out when I was 13 because somebody picked on me, and I decided that, I was going to make myself big to protect myself. Like, I wasn't good enough. I needed to be bigger or more. Like, I started with the wrong idea. And when I hit 40, my health fell apart. And you can see it in my face. Like, my face at 40, I was swollen in the face. I had pus, inflammation in my face, in my head, in my neck, in my spine, in my digestive system. There was disease, sickness, virus, bacteria inside of me. There was emotional pain inside of me. Inflammation was inside of me. This came out of me over the last 10 years through a lifestyle of fasting and raw foods and light movement and daily breath work and daily coming back to my thoughts and words and actions and making change on a daily basis. I was able to make change in my health over the last decade. And I tell you that if you're over 40, if you're beyond 50, if you're beyond that, your hormones are coming down. We can't eat the way we used to. We've got to change the way we're living. We need to move more and eat less. Once you're beyond 35, beyond 40, things are starting to change in your body. You can't support all of that protein, carbohydrate, macronutrition any longer. We need to get a new understanding about energy and nutrition. There is another understanding. There is a better understanding. We need to understand something better. I started to do some research. I came back to science. I started to look at science in another way. I started to look at science like with an open mind. I looked at some ideas, Dr. Arnold Ehret, Dr. Robert Morris, Dr. Sebi, Professor Hilton Hotima. I saw the ideas of Dr. Brian Clement first inspired me in this alkaline lifestyle. I saw Hippocrates, I saw Socrates, I saw Plato, I saw Aristotle, I saw Greek philosophy, I saw spiritual philosophy. I saw that these ideas of health and empowerment and possibility are not new ideas. These are old ideas that we have kind of come out of sync with because we've gotten caught up in the rat race of life, like paying bills. Like I say, money makes the whole thing go round. And we've gotten caught up in the cost of living and the cost of life and sustaining our families rather than loving ourselves and loving our families and loving our lives. We're just thinking about paying the bills. And if we just think about going to work and paying bills all of the time, that this creates a certain serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin in our brain. Like it sets up a certain state of mind, a certain energy to it. It has a certain frequency of vibration, a resonance that our personality takes on. And then that energy that we are circulating is creating what's going on in our life. And we've become addicted to it. And we think we need it and we think we have to have it. And we see no other way around it. It's what we think and know. It's our story. It's what we've come to believe about ourselves and our life. So I want to see if I can help people to shift what they think and say about themselves and their life on a daily basis. So I came back to science after I became sick, and I started to look at it again with new eyes. And I say that I was looking at it from the world of bodybuilding and macronutrients and proteins and carbs and calories and caloric restriction, reducing body fat. And this is what we learn about in science. This is what we all learn about in science. I learned about it too. When I came back to look at science again with, eyes wide open rather than, what my teachers were telling me, I started to look at the science again. And I saw that everything, there's 127 elements that we know about in the universe. This is the whole physical, measurable universe, everything we know, from the light of the stars to the stuff, the stardust, to what's at the bottom of the ocean, on the top of the mountain, like everything here, the humans, the birds, the trees, everything in creation, the sky, the air, everything, the water, the sun, everything is made up of these 127 things. This is like the impossibility of it, that there's these 127 things. And the thing about these, things is like independently hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, all of these things independently, individually, like they contain life, but they aren't capable of conscious free will or choice. They contain the life, the atom, they contain atoms. They are atoms. They are godliness, but they don't have it inside of a living being. Like the human is these elements constructed in a way that they are in motion, they are in action, they are in life. There is a life force in the human. I started to look at these elements and I looked at, hydrogen's the smallest element. It's a very special element. Because it's the smallest element, it it's weightless. It's so weightless that it can just move around so easily, and it can be attracted to anything, and it'll connect with anything. And if it gets near fire, it'll just explode. Hydrogen is the energy of our sun. Our sun is a hydrogen ball. It's a hydrogen reaction. It throws a hydrogen-rich light. It throws a hydrogen-rich electron. Hydrogen has a negative charge. It's a charged element. I say it has a charge. It's an ion. It has a charge. It always exists with another piece of hydrogen, another hydrogen, or with an oxygen, H2O, water. It always exists with another hydrogen or with hydrogen and water. It's like just ozone. The hydrogen is up there in the cool, and it connects with the oxygen, and it falls down as rain. Like hydrogen is not able to exist here by itself, but with oxygen in the form of water. So hydrogen is an element that contains like an atomic energy or the energy of the light of the sun. This is like an electron energy. This is an electric energy or a light energy, an atomic energy. It's not caloric energy. So I want you to understand that, hydrogen contains energy, but it doesn't contain calories. It contains natural energy or chemical affinity. Oxygen is another perfect example of, a much larger element, but still a collection of protons, electrons, and neutrons. All of these things, if I come back to the hydrogen, all of the elements are made up of protons, electrons, and neutrons. That all of the elements are made up of these three things, like this triangle, or this trilogy, or this mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, or Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Like the primary shape, the first shape is the triangle. It's the first shape. Like you have a point, and then another point makes a line, and then another line, and then another line, you have the first shape. Well, the first shape, probably the circle, the hole, the circle, but the triangle is inside that circle. The circle is the all, and the triangle is the first shape that fits inside. And all things have this sort of nature, this triangular sort of nature. All things in nature do. Protons, electrons, these are offsetting charges, plus and minus, and then a neutral that balances the two. There's there's a oneness, a neutral, a oneness in all things, a neutral, a oneness, a wholeness that contains the plus and the minus. They offset each other when they come together. There's a neutral that offsets these two, and they offset each other. But they never meet. The plus and the minus never meet. That this electron spins around that negative spins around that positive indefinitely, that it's attracted to it and it falls over it and it's attracted to it, that she, the electron, is attracted to her male, consort, and she falls over him, and she falls over him, and she falls over him for an eternity. And she never eats. That the electron never needs to eat. It's that she has like a electromagnetic energy. This is not the energy of calories. This is the energy of electrons. This is the energy of nature. This is the energy of love. Like she loves him, she spins around him. She loves him and falls over him. This is the energy of love. It's the energy of life. Okay? So, coming from the energy of life, and moving from that, I just want to say we've got this triangle that is kind of the the foundation of life, the triangle. And I want you to see that triangle is there's kind of like there's a masculine triangle and there's a feminine triangle. Is that there's two, and they actually they invert on top of each other, and these two triangles actually make a star. Kind of one triangle this way and then the other triangle this way. Then you've got a 5-point star, or a Star of David, or a sun, sort of. It's like when you put the two triangles together, you have the whole if you turn the triangles, right? So you have the whole. So I want you to see that inside that circle, that triangle, that star is a box. And inside that box, we've got emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. We've got the 4 quadrants of you. You are physical and mental, masculine. You are spiritual and emotional, feminine. You are 2. You are 2, and then you are a neutral, a mind that is between the 2, if that makes sense. That the mind always has the choice and the free will to enter into feeling or enter into thinking. That you can think thoughts, but you are not your thoughts, because you can change your thoughts. You can have feelings, but you can act upon those feelings, or you can act differently than you feel. So you are not your feelings. So human has feelings, but is not feelings. Human has thoughts, but is not thoughts. Human is choice. Human is free will. Human is mind, or consciousness, or whole, or neutral, or all, or both. Right? So creation is oneness, and creation is two come together to make one. One is at the root of all other numbers. One is the beginning of all things. So I tell you, I came into understanding from Dr. Brian Clement. I started to understand pH. I started to understand that health was not really about calories and proteins and carbs. And like that's what they said our energy was. That's where we got our energy, was proteins and carbs and fats. And I needed to get a new paradigm. And I found it when I read Arnold Ehret's book, The Mucusless Diet. And I started to understand this idea of pH. And I started to understand this idea of getting my health from the inside of me rather than something I needed to get from the outside. That my health was something within, like the body knew the way to health. Like there was a way to kind of tap into this inner energy, or this inner force. And I started to look at pH, and I started to actually, with a little bit of logic and study, first of all, pH stands for potential hydrogen. Now, this is hydrogen's potential to up level, or move from H2 to H3. Like hydrogen has this potential to share an electron with another hydrogen, and then the electron becomes shared. These 2 hydrogen elements come together and the electron is shared. And in this way, like there's a little up leveling or aligning or some sort of energy storage capacity of hydrogen, an element in water. So that if water is exposed to light, it could become structured. It could become charged. That the water that's in the light of the sun or been influenced by the light of the sun, like a fruit or a vegetable that's influenced by the light of the sun through the tree leaves, that the fruit or the vegetable, the living thing, could contain the energy of the sun or the atomic energy of the sun, the hydrogen ball. This would be in the water that's in contact with the earth. You see, the earth is a blue-green rock, a water-filled rock inside the light of the sun. The light of the sun is always throwing a charge upon the earth. The earth is always receiving that charge. The earth has a charge. It has a magnetism to it. It has an energy. It gets its energy from the sun. And it also gives out a magnetism of her own. There's an energy of the earth. There's an energy of the sun. It is the same energy that is it is from the same energy, but it is an opposite charge. It has a different charge to it. The energy of our sun, coming back to the pH scale, I want to tell you the pH scale is 14 numbers. That 14 is the most alkaline and 0 the most acidic. That death is an acidic circumstance. Like when we die, the body decomposes into the earth. So the body has to break apart. So this is what the body does. It becomes acidic when it dies. As soon as something dies, it begins to decompose. It starts to become more acidic. Things that are living are above the neutral. They are alkaline. All things alive are alkaline. All things alive are breathing. All things alive are growing. All things alive are balancing or striving to balance. These are the nature of the things that are alive. This is just speaking about nature. The 7 is neutral, and that 7 is distilled water. That the 7 specifically is pure water. This is the water in nature. It's neutral. It is distilled. This is the natural water. Clean water without anything in it is distilled water. So coming away from the macronutrients, coming away from the proteins and the carbs and the fats, and coming away from the ideas of exercise being about ripping yourself, tearing yourself, come away from this idea that exercise is about making my body bigger. It's not about making my body bigger. It's really about setting my body's chemistry up for the day. Like when I begin to exercise, that this is the most balancing thing that I can do for my body. That this exercise balances the oxygen and the carbon dioxide in the body. Exercise balances the length and the strength and the tension in the body, puts energy into the body, puts oxygen into the body. Exercise changes the endocrine function, like changes the hormones, puts them all back into alignment for the day, like brings your hormone levels up. It resets your brain chemistry, your neurochemistry, so that all of your brain neurotransmitters are balanced and heightened for the day. Your endorphins are up. Your happy, healthy, energetic hormones are stimulated from the day through movement. See, exercise, daily movement balances the body. Fasting cleanses the body. Fasting, daily movement, raw food eating contains hydrogen and oxygen. When we cook the food, then we cook the hydrogen out of it and the oxygen out of it. The water comes out of it, the hydrogen comes out of it, the oxygen comes out of it. The life-giving energy comes out of it, the living oxygen. When I cook it, as soon as I heat it, the oxygen goes into the air, the hydrogen goes into the air. So we lose the atomic energy as soon as we cook or process our food. So this is why a cleansing lifestyle, a fasting lifestyle, a raw food lifestyle is bringing you back to managing your own personal energy yourself through your movement, through your breath, through your life-giving, breath-giving, oxygen-giving food, and through your fasting, that you can restore your health this way. Through rehydration, through liquids, through juices, through distilled waters, and living juices that contain hydrogen-rich elements, and combining that with stretching and strengthening in the body. This decision that you make in order to take this action to begin exercising and fasting and cleansing your body and breathing and meditating, to make this decision inside of your own self, that decision is an inspired thought that changes your life from within. It's like that decision is like your internal sun. Is that the love of creation, the light of creation, the light and life of creation is within us and around us all of the time. It's omniscient, it's omnipresent, it's omnipotent. It's within us and it's around us all of the time. In each moment, there is an access point to connect with creation, and each soul has this power and ability to connect with it inside or connect with it outside. And we have to spend some time thinking about it within us, and we have to spend some time thinking about it around us. And the energy is an energy of love and kindness. So these decisions to move in this way, fasting, moving, breathing, meditating, balancing my body with my breath, changing my energy myself with my thoughts, my words, and my actions, my foods, my drinks, and my things in each moment create my reality. My foods, my drinks, and my things in each moment are creating my reality. Stop trying to get your health by counting calories and eating protein and lifting copious amounts of weight and pushing yourself as hard as you can. It's not about this. It's about creating something that you do daily that you truly, truly love, that includes movement through your whole body, that invigorates your whole body, and combines it with some daily fasting and some raw food eating and some love and kindness for yourself and for the others in your life. It's an intentional setting day. It's a hopeful vision for your day. It's coming out of hopelessness and worry and fear and getting into possibility. Endless, infinite possibility, boundlessness, stepping into this power within your own self. So I just want to talk really quickly about true energy. And true energy is glycolysis, or a process that happens within the cell. Like it's a production of ATP. It's cellular metabolism. It's how the body creates energy at the level of the cell. as the cell takes in oxygen and gives off carbon dioxide. This is cellular metabolism. And in order for cellular metabolism to happen, we need ATP, we need plus H, we need a hydrogen. We need a hydrogen element. And this hydrogen element is the energy of sunlight. It's the energy of water. It's the energy in clean, natural, structured water. Water from fruits or vegetables. Water that's been in the light of the sun. Water that has fruits and vegetables in it. Water that was put in a copper bowl. There's things you can do to get your hydrogen up. There's things you can do to get your oxygen up, eating raw foods. We need this hydrogen molecule to maximize our energy production. We need to have uncooked foods in order to get it. As soon as you cook it, that small little molecule is disappeared. It's gone. It catches on fire. You can't cook it. The true energy is a pure energy from oxygen and hydrogen, or water. Water and living food diet combined with the invigoration of movement and oxygen within your body, the hormones that's creating inside of your body from that movement and that lifestyle, and the brain neurotransmitters that are created in the mind from living that lifestyle. And if you practice that lifestyle, that the brain will grow in its capacity to think outside of the box, that the brain will expand in its capacity to visualize. It will be able to visualize more. Like what you focus on grows. So if you begin to focus on health and wellness and joy and happiness and love and kindness for yourself and for others and for the entire globe and the world and everyone around you, if we start to think and speak about that on a daily basis, that your capacity to do that will grow. That's a lifestyle. It's a new lifestyle that we need to get into to change our life. Like if we want to get healthy, we need to change our lifestyle. If we've gained weight, if we've got pain in our body, if we're struggling to maintain our motivation or stay on track with our nutrition plan, we probably need a new nutrition plan. We probably need a little bit of guidance, perhaps with an appointment. You see, this is the kind of the way that we've fallen into, is like if we don't have an appointment, we don't really get up and do it. Like we need some accountability. We need some accountability to make a change in our body and life. And that's what I'm talking about. Is I'm talking about providing you with an opportunity at accountability and support, information, nutrition, exercise, meditation, breath work, how to do it, how to change your internal energy, internal pressure, your internal power by changing your breathing, by breathing more deeply, by breathing more consciously, by changing your food and drink, by changing your thoughts, by holding you accountable to that on a daily basis. So I'm working along with a holistic nutritionist, Sabina Kurz. We're working together to try and share and help people to make a change in their health themselves. If you want to find your story, your love, your passion for your life, if you want to find your purpose, if you want to awaken yourself, if you want to come back to your very best, if you sort of have this feeling perhaps that there could be something more for you, then I'd like you to consider getting into our 30-day program, where I'm going to support you multiple times a day, 7 days a week. These are Eastern time schedules. These are 30-minute opportunities during the day. Sunday is a 1-hour opportunity where we will do 30 minutes of movement, as well as yoga, as well as meditation and breath work. That's an hour session on Sundays. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These are 6 days of 30-minute sessions multiple times a day that I run along with my wife. My wife does it Tuesday and Wednesday and Saturday. I teach Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So together we give you this 7-day opportunity to be accountable to us. In addition to that, Sabina Kurz, our holistic nutritionist, will be running fasting workshops, nutrition workshops, shadow workshops, emotional healing workshops, and combining that support over the 30 days. Uh, right now, because it's Black Friday, and Sabina and I are just launching this program, we've got a 40% off special offer right now for Black Friday. It's my most affordable time of the year to get exercise, nutrition, mindset, coaching, support, accountability, information, guidance. You can get it all right now for the very best price that you can. Black Friday is the most affordable time of the year to buy health and wellness. If you're looking to get started with your health again, if you need help to get started with your health again, if you've been stopping and starting your health, your nutrition, your exercise, if you're trying to get yourself back into shape, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to heal pain, if you're trying to overcome some sickness, illness, or disease in your life, if you want to love your life more and love your family more and feel re-inspired and reinvigorated in your life, you want to get hopeful again, reach out to me. It's the best time to reach out to me. Send me a personal email, send me a text message, respond to this message, or wherever you heard this message, leave me a message below if you're on social media. I love you. Have yourself a super awesome, terrific day. If you are looking to get a hold of me, my email is John, JOHN, at HIND, In Canada, my number is WhatsApp number 1-905-512-5421 in Canada. If you wanted to reach me on WhatsApp, you can get into my private group. You can get into my business page, High End Fitness. You can follow me personally, High End Fitness, on Instagram, or on my public page, Coach John DePass. Have yourself a super awesome, terrific day.